The European Union has reportedly failed to get the support of the United States and the G7 powers to jointly block Russian oil deliveries under its 20th package of anti-Russia sanctions. A diplomat in Brussels told TASS, and I quote, "The EU presented to the US and G7 its plan to fully prohibit European businesses from transporting Russian oil and providing any kind of maintenance, supply, financing, and insurance services to tankers that transport Russian oil, no matter what flag they are flying." The European Commission invited partners to impose similar restrictions on their companies. The United States refused. According to the report, the diplomat said he did not exclude the possibility of Washington, D.C. imposing its own measures in due time. According to the TASS report, the European ambassadors failed to make any progress on the latest Russian sanctions, and the final decision will be made by the top EU diplomats during their meeting on Monday. The situation could even become worse as pro-Russian nation Hungary said it would block the entire 20th package during the ministerial meeting. Budapest said it will block a planned €90 billion, $106 billion European Union loan to Ukraine until the flow of Russian oil through the Druzhba pipeline resumes.
Ukraine decided not to restart oil deliveries to Hungary via the Friendship pipeline, despite the fact that there are absolutely no obstacles to resuming the shipments, neither physical, technical nor operational impediments to restarting the supply.
Ukraine has made a decision that is purely political in its nature and scope. Ukraine is now attempting to blackmail Hungary by blocking the operation of the Friendship oil pipeline. Ukraine is doing all this, colluding with Brussels and the Hungarian opposition, specifically to cause oil supply disruptions before the elections. Therefore, I would like to make an announcement to you that as long as Ukraine continues to block the proper operation of the oil pipeline, as long as Ukraine continues to block the Friendship oil pipeline, as long as Ukraine continues to block the full resumption of oil deliveries towards Hungary, then Hungary will continue to block the adoption of decisions that are both important and highly favorable for Ukraine within the European Union. Taking all these factors into consideration, we have come to the decision that we will proceed to block the payment of the €90 billion military loan designated for Ukraine as well.
We will take every possible step. We are turning to international forums, and we have stopped diesel fuel deliveries to Ukraine. We are also examining the possibility of halting electricity and natural gas supplies. We believe that this clearly exceeds all previous boundaries. Ukrainian action against another European Union member state, which, by the way, has been assisting Ukraine not with weapons and soldiers, but with humanitarian aid, even during the period of war, is unacceptable and intolerable. Ukraine can no longer count on receiving crude oil shipments from Hungary.
Pro-Putin EU nation to cut off Ukraine's power. Chilling, choking threat to Zelensky. Russian oil supply row escalates. Hungary is considering cutting off power and gas exports to Ukraine. Prime Minister Viktor Orban's chief of staff, Gergely Gulius, told a briefing on February 19th that Kyiv must resume Russian oil shipments to Hungary via the Druzhba pipeline or face consequences. The oil supplies have been disrupted since January 27th. Ukraine said that the pipeline was damaged in alleged Russian drone attack. The alleged attack took place near the Ukrainian town of Brody, a key transit point for Russian crude bound for Slovakia and Hungary. Hungary and Slovakia are the only European Union states that are still refining Russian crude via Druzhba, resisting full European Union sanctions on Russian energy imports. Gulyas accused Ukraine of making a conscious and deliberate decision to harm 2 EU member states by voluntarily halting oil flows through the Druzhba pipeline. Gulyas revealed that Hungary coordinating closely with Slovakia to consider an option of stopping power and gas shipments to Ukraine.
It is quite clear that Ukraine's political leadership consciously and deliberately decided to harm Hungary and Slovakia. Let me reiterate, it's not just that the Ukrainian side is trying to interfere in the election campaign by all means, but they are consciously causing damage to 2 European Union member states. The government has established that within Hungary's borders, even despite the closure of the Friendship crude oil pipeline by a voluntary Ukrainian decision, the security of energy supply remains fully guaranteed. We have released our strategic crude oil reserves, and this alone ensures our supply security for more than 3 months, and we are purchasing Russian oil, which will be transported to Hungary through Croatia. MOL has already placed an order for 500,000 tons. We absolutely do not accept the decision made by the Ukrainian government. This also contradicts their European Union candidate status, thus violating their commitments to the Union. We will take every possible step. We are turning to international forums, and we have stopped diesel fuel deliveries to Ukraine. We are also examining the possibility of halting electricity and natural gas supplies. We believe that this clearly exceeds all previous boundaries. Ukrainian action against another European Union member state, which, by the way, has been assisting Ukraine not with weapons and soldiers, but with humanitarian aid, even during the period of war, is unacceptable and intolerable. Ukraine can no longer count on receiving crude oil shipments from Hungary, and I reiterate, additional retaliatory measures will certainly follow if the Ukrainian government does not change its current decision and persists in keeping the Friendship crude oil pipeline closed based on completely unfounded claims. Hungary's stance has long been that too many international bodies focus only on Ukraine and the war. It's time there was also one that deals with peace. Naturally, we see that the international order is fundamentally transforming and being reshaped. We cannot know precisely what the ultimate outcome of this will be, but it is certain that the Peace Council can play a truly significant role in establishing peace in the world's conflict-affected regions. The American administration has achieved considerable success in this respect in the Middle East and has even proven effective in resolving other armed conflicts as well. It is clearly in the vital interest of Europe, and especially for Hungary, that peace should be established in Ukraine as quickly as possible. Every single organization and every international initiative which actively works to promote this outcome must be given our full and unwavering support. For Hungary, membership costs nothing. It doesn't involve any financial payment obligation, but at the same time it provides an opportunity for Hungarian interests in an important organization, one led by the President of the United States. Let's assert that Hungarian interest, which we identified and defined 4 years ago at the outbreak of the war, the achievement of the fastest possible peace. A year ago, the American administration also joined this, as the Trump government had set the goal of establishing peace everywhere, and this also applied to the Russian-Ukrainian war. And therefore, we are of the firm belief that any institutional framework which actively supports these aspirations and especially prioritizes the objective of bringing an end to the Russian-Ukrainian war is certainly worthy of Hungary's full participation.
Remember, Hungary and Slovakia have already suspended diesel exports to Ukraine amid the ongoing tussle. Both EU nations account for roughly 68% of Ukraine's electricity imports this month, according to consultancy Expro, with Hungary supplying about 1/3 of Ukraine's gas imports. Hungary and Slovakia have accused Ukraine of delaying a restart to flows for political reasons, and on Wednesday they announced a halt in diesel exports to Ukraine. Hungary's Prime Minister Viktor Orbán has been a vocal opponent of Ukraine's bid to join the European Union. Also, both Hungary and Slovakia have both maintained good relations with Russian President Vladimir Putin through almost 4 years of war in Ukraine, despite pressure from the United States and fellow EU member states.
The pressure is immense and is going on us, so not just from the Ukrainian side but also from Brussels. They are tightening both jaws of the pincer, aiming to force Slovaks and us into a pro-war stance, and this pressure it's increasing. This isn't always tasteful. It's certainly not polite, sometimes quite crude, even outright vulgar, especially the rhetoric that's coming from Kiev, but the statements from Brussels aren't really much better. We simply have to tolerate this situation, so we are left with two distinct possibilities. Either we cannot withstand this constant pressure. Do we give up our stance for a pat on the back joining the pro-war camp, or do we stand firm and declare we'll stay out of this? And if we want to stay out, then we must stand on our own feet. Then we must say no to Brussels. We must be able to say no to Brussels. We must show strength. We must rally the whole country behind the government's position and make it clear that Hungary will stay out of this war.
Slovak Prime Minister Robert Fico has also raised the possibility of cutting emergency electricity supplies.
Pán prezident Zelenský si zahráva s našou podporou, pokiaľ ide o európsku perspektívu Ukrajiny. Ak sa potvrdí naše podozrenie, že ide o politické vydieranie, tak bude postupne strácať našu podporu. Rovnako dnes na rokovaní vlády bol predstaviteľ SEPSu, ktorého som pozval v súvislosti s dodávkami elektrickej energie na Ukrajinu. Slovensko dodáva tzv. Nazvime to bezpečnostné dodávky v prípade vypadnutia siete na Ukrajine, kedy potrebujú slovenskú elektrínu na stabilizáciu ich systému. V januári tohto roku bolo na Ukrajinu toľko elektríny poslanej, že to bolo 2-krát viac ako za celý rok 2025. Čiže pravdepodobne tieto dodávky majú nejaký význam pre elektrizačný systém Ukrajiny. Ak má pocit pán prezident Zelenský, že toto nemá žiadnu hodnotu, že to nepotrebuje, môžeme sa rozhodnúť, že odstúpime od tejto spolupráce, pokiaľ je dodávky elektrickej energie.